So I wanted to talk about ideas in terms of what to play over these backdoor progressions, so that we learn how to see them, understand them, but also how to make music. We've got our standard cadence, which is the 5/1, E7 to A, for example. And what is a cadence? A cadence is a harmonic or melodic configuration that provides a sense of tension and release. So we've got this 5/1, E7 to A. Then we've got the 4/1 is also cadence. So the 4/1 is in the same key, would be D major or D major 7th or any D major to the 1, and we can hear that sense of a resolution there. We've got the 4 minor to 1 is also cadence. And that's the typical Django sound. So that lick, for example, is in that key is A major, D minor 6, back to A. Right? Then I was also going to mention the backdoor progression, which is also a cadence, obviously. So see, that 4 minor to 1 was the last one. Then we've got flat 7 dominant to 1, which is the backdoor. So it would be G7th to 1. But then if we look at that G7th to A, which is the backdoor, and the one we talked about just before that, the 4 minor to the 1, we see how the 4 minor to the 1 was D minor to A. But then also G7th could be a substitution for D minor, and we see that in 2 5s. So taking a step back, let's say a 5/1 in the key of C major would be G7th to C. And a 2/5/1 in C major would be D minor 7th to G to C. Now, historically, the 5/1 used to be the only cadence, or it used to be the thing to do in the 30s, until the 30s. If you listen to music up to the 1930s, it was all 5/1s, rather than 2/5/1s, which is a thing that came from the 40s. Even the way we play standard Gypsy jazz tunes today, we play them with 2 5s, although Django did not. Like, for example, Nuage even. Now everybody plays it as B flat minor 7 and E flat 7th. But if you listen to Django, it goes straight to the E flat 7th. D. So 2 5s are a thing that came later on. Why? Because the 2 is actually just a substitution for the 5. And you can see it here, like my D minor 7th, for example. If you take this voicing, X 5 3 5 6, you can see how that's basically a G7th. Actually, see, if I put my root here on G, then what do I get intervals wise? The root, I get the 5th, I get the flat 7th, the 11th, and the flat 7th again. So the only note difference would be this 11th. So if I moved this 11th 1 fret this way, then that would give me the 3rd, and this would be a perfect G7 chord. Let's see if I can do that like this. Now this new note, the major third for G7, what is it for D? It's the sixth. So actually say if I played a D minor sixth, it's the same thing as a G7th. Same chord. Right? So that really shows why this 2-5 is even a thing. It's because that 2 is basically the same thing as the 5, just with a smaller intensity in terms of tension, smaller tension. So my tension release, my 5-1, throughout the years then it became a little bit of tension, most tension, and then release. It's just a more sophisticated way of providing that cadence, that tension and release. My whole point there was to show you how D minor 7 or D minor 6 and G7 are basically the same chord. And again, going back to talking about cadences, my D minor or D minor 6, which in the key of A would be the 4th minor to the 1, and the flat 7th to 1, G7 to 1, are basically the same idea. Just to show you where the backdoor progression comes from. So actually, where the backdoor progression comes from, theory-wise, or another way of looking at it would be, let's stay in the same key, so A. If we were in the key of A minor, what chords do we have in the key of A minor? G7th to A minor is already a thing, right? So that idea of the dominant going to the 1 has been borrowed from the minor key. But then instead of going to the minor, go to the major. But it's been borrowed from that. So I wanted to talk about ideas in terms of what to play over these backdoor progressions, so that, you know, we learn how to see them, understand them, but also how to make music. So nuage. See, there is a backdoor progression right here. Now they're easy to spot again because it is a dominant chord, one tone away from a major chord, and then you see, you know it's a backdoor. They're really easy to spot. The thing is, what do we play on it? The two scales that we can play over this F7th are the Mixolydian, which is actually a scale that works both on primary and secondary dominant chords, and the Lydian dominant. So let's look at Mixolydian first. We'll look at the two scales and then a couple of few licks to make music with it. So then, how does the F Mixolydian scale look? So we've got from F, fret 8 of string 5, we've got from string 5, 8, 10, then down a string 7, 8, 10, and then down a string 7, 8, 10 again. So from string 5, 8, 10, down a string 7, 8, 10, and then down a string 7, 8, 10 again. And you can see it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 7th, 1. The Lydian dominant is the same scale, but instead of having a perfect fourth, we have a sharp fourth. And so 1, 2, 3, sharp 4. So Mixolydian, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 7th, 1. Lydian dominant, 1, 2, 3, sharp 4, 5, 6, flat 7th, 1. So then let's hear the sound of those two scales over the song. So let's hear Mixolydian over that F7th. So it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 1. Simple, but just very nice. So see how we can actually just play the regular Mixolydian scale and it works really well. Now the Lydian dominant scale, let's hear the sound of that scale. It's just one note difference, also works really well. Very nice. So you can use both. But then again, I'd rather show you a couple of licks that you can use. So it's on F7th and it starts on the 6th here on D. So fret 10 on string 1. It's easy because it's all in 8 notes as well. So then 10 on string 1, upper string 11, then 8, then upper string again 8, so same fret, 7, and then upper string 10. One more time, 10 on string 1, upper string 11, 8, upper string 8, 7, and then upper string 10. The beauty of this lick is, it is a Mixolydian lick on F. So it's F Mixolydian. What we said about Mixolydian is that it both works for secondary and primary dominant chords. So that one lick literally works on any dominant chord. So that works on F7th. If we had an F7th in both scenarios, so F7th to B flat, which is a 5-1, so primary dominant. See, it works really well there. But also on a secondary dominant, say F7th to G, which would be a backdoor. So or any other F7 in a secondary dominant scenario. So let's say we had F7th, E7th, A major. I could actually use the same lick for both chords. On F7 and on E7. It just works everywhere. It's really good. So then back to us though, because we want to focus on backdoor. So then here from the end of that lick, if you wanted to resolve on G, you just go down a semitone, and that's again your third of G. So let's hear this over the song.